What do corporate and social media corporations do to you when you gain a following of over 500,000 people in 2 weeks just by putting out the facts of what's going on at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial? Well, they terminate your account, of course.
And why the heck do you think they would do such a thing?
Hey guys, study after study shows that if you want strong bones and muscles, healthy hair, skin, teeth, and nails, you need the 5 types of collagen in your diet. I get mine from BioTrust. I've got a link in the description with a massive discount, and it'll tell you all about it.
I want to deal with this today because, as we all know, the internet is the great equalizer. Social media is supposed to be the digital public square, and mainstream media is what mainstream media has been for years, and that's the enemy of the people. And you have to ask yourself, when you look at the Maxwell trial tracker, which a couple days ago was suspended by Twitter, you have to ask yourself, if there's such a demand for the people out there to learn about what's going on with the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, why isn't mainstream media covering it? It's not that there's not a global appetite for it. So there is a market, and mainstream media knows there's a market for it, but they still won't publicize what's going on in this trial. This Maxwell trial tracker at Tracker Trial account that was suspended accumulated over 500,000 followers in less than 2 weeks. 500,000 followers, and had millions upon millions in engagement every single day. More than CNN has. A larger growth rate than I think any segment of time for CNN, the likes of CNN, MSLSD, even Fox News. Fox News, there's a lot of people going, well, I don't listen to CNN or MSNBC or ABC or CBS. All that stuff is crap. I listen to Fox News. They'll tell you what's going on. Then why aren't they covering the Ghislaine Maxwell trial like they should be? Why isn't there a live feed somewhere on the Fox News site showing you what's happening, what's the news coming out of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial? Why have they decided not to publicize the Ghislaine Maxwell trial like they did the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, or even the Jussie Smollett trial they put under wraps? Why? Why are they curating certain pieces of information that go against the narrative? Oh, that's why, because it goes against the narrative. How many corporate media executives would be swept up in the disinfecting sunlight of truth being shown on what's going on with this Ghislaine Maxwell trial? How many people have flown on the Lolita Express? How many people have visited Jeffrey Epstein's sex slave island? How many Hollywood stars, how many corporate teleprompter readers would this catch in the dragnet of truth? Why isn't the Maxwell trial being televised? Why the heck? Everybody wants to know about it. Why is it being kept under wraps? How prevalent is sex trafficking in Hollywood and corporate media circles? So you got the Maxwell trial tracker that just a couple days ago was suspended by Twitter after having accumulated 525,000 subscribers. And the people who owned that Maxwell trial tracker have this free press report, and here's what they said. They said, I woke up this morning and the tracker trial account on Twitter was suspended. All the other accounts that I've made in the past were also suspended. This was the only note that I received from Twitter, violating our rules against platform manipulation and spam. You may not use Twitter services in a manner intended to artificially amplify or suppress information or engage in behavior that manipulates or disrupts people's experience on Twitter. And yet you still have Antifa on there. You've got BLM on there. You've got Nation of Islam accounts still alive and well and active on Twitter. And yet they're going to take down the Ghislaine Maxwell trial tracker. Why? Note that if you attempt to evade a permanent suspension by creating new accounts, we will suspend your new accounts. If you wish to appeal this suspension, please contact our support team. Thanks, Twitter. The Tracker Trial account was the largest account on Twitter that specifically tracked the Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein trial. And why do they want to shut it down from the digital public square? Why do they not want us to know about what's going on? There are actually people on the ground, independent journalists. Independent journalists are on the ground. They're taking their time to feed us information about what's going on in that trial. Mainstream media, not so much. Even though mainstream media knows that there's a demand, there's an appetite, at least in the American public, for what's going on in that trial, and they still won't cover it. This is where CNN could actually improve their ratings by covering this trial, and they still won't do it. That is nothing short of bizarre. According to Twitter's rules, apparently the account was artificially amplifying information. I'm not sure what I was amplifying and how I was doing that. Of course, they keep it extremely vague, so they don't have to answer for their actions. They don't have to answer for, picture this, let's say that you're in an actual public square, an actual physical public square, and there are 10 or 15 police officers going around and saying, hey, you can't say that, you can't say this, and taking people out of the public square so that they can't speak their piece. That's what's going on social media platforms. That's what's going on Google. That's what's going on Facebook. That's what's going on Twitter. And that's why the Gabs of the world have risen. That's why the Odyssey platforms, the BitChute platforms are going. And they're going strong. The account got insane engagement, something that CNN can't say. CNN cannot, Brian Stelter cannot sit there going, man, I am getting insane engagement on my Twitter account. No, he's not. No, he's not. He actually has a global platform, Brian Stelter and the Jakey the Snake Tappers, and when Cuomo was still with CNN, they had global audiences and they got abysmal engagement. The account got insane engagement, which, by the way, was all organic. There was not outside amplification. The people wanted to hear the truth about the Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein trial, and the engagement numbers showed that. Yes, they did. And you would think that fake stream media would say, hey, wow, this independent small account is getting this much engagement? They're beating us in everything. They're beating us in ratings. This one Twitter account is bashing us into the ground. Maybe we should adopt their formula. Maybe we should do what they're doing so that we can get some viewers back. But see, the thing is, I think we've hit a point of no return. I think the people who are actually thinking, who've actually broken the mold of cognitive dissonance, stop eating the Kool-Aid and check themselves out of the cult of personality, I think they finally realize, these people who are actually aware of what's going on, understand that, yes, indeed, Donald Trump was right. Mainstream media, fake stream, corporate, CIA infiltrated, Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra media is the enemy of the people. It's not true because Donald Trump said it. It's just true. It's a truism. There were hundreds of millions in impressions, and an account that went from 0 to over 525,000 followers in just a couple weeks. All we did was report information from the trial that the mainstream media was failing to do. There's a vacuum. And people obviously recognize that vacuum, or there wouldn't be 525,000 people following this one small independent account on Twitter, this obscure account. They want to know what's going on in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. They wanted to know what was going on in the Jussie Smollett trial. And yet, what are they going to show you? Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's see if we can vilify an AR-15 some more. Let's see if we can't create a situation where policymakers start making rules against people who actually have those kind of firearms so that we can criminalize them. Let's see if we can't put another huge dent in the side of the Second Amendment. Yeah, they'll publicize that, but not, okay, who is involved in this sex operation with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, and all these people that rode Lolita Express, including, I saw just a second ago, here's the Maxwell trial tracker on Gab. By the way, if you haven't followed the Maxwell trial tracker, this is them. This is their official Gab account. Shows that Alec Baldwin was on. Here, let me expand this. Says Alec Baldwin is listed in Epstein's Black Book on page 4. Oh, that's interesting. Kevin Spacey, Alec Baldwin, Bill Clinton, insane engagement. God, if I was CNN, I'd be like, man, I want insane engagement. How do we get insane engagement? We've lost literally 80% of our audience in the last 16 months. How do we do it? Please show us how to do it. Tracker trial. But no, what do they want to do? And it almost seems like mainstream media is colluding with social media to get these people kicked off. Are they jealous? Or is it that they don't even care about losing viewers? They don't even care about losing customers. They just don't want the truth to get out there. Why? It's like, man, I don't care about the views. I don't care about the customers. I don't care about the AdSense we could generate on our YouTube channel. I don't care about all the money that we could rake in. We just got to suppress this story. Why? It's against human nature to not want to make that money. Why are they not? Are they guilty of something? Are they involved in something with regard to this trial right here? Going forward, we will continue to report on the trial and all forms of big government and corporate corruption. This is just the beginning. We've appealed to Twitter for a possible lift of the suspension, but it's not likely that we'll ever hear from them. Big tech has gotten too powerful and they can silence us anytime they want. As we wrote earlier in the week in an article entitled The Global Media Industrial Complex. And that's what this is. Because when you have mainstream media skewing the truth and twisting stories and laying cover for certain entities, that's why people call them the big pharma industrial complex PR firm, or the public relations firm for the military industrial complex. When you're laying cover for all these people, and there's a follow the money trail, there's a key bona who benefits trail, it pretty much tells you whatever you need to know without them saying it. Local blogs and websites are suppressed by big tech platforms. If you write one thing out of line, Google can institute a site-wide ban. Make sure that you never show up in a search engine algorithm again. Facebook restricts what is posted on their website. Twitter suppresses any outside links to keep users on their own site. The year is 2021 and Big Brother is watching. And then this person says, the only thing I'm asking is for everybody to share this article and get the word out. All information pertaining to this trial will be exclusively written here. I also have a Gab account. That's this account right here. By the way, let me go ahead and, when this video gets, I'm doing this live right now, so I'm going to put this in the chat room. This is the Trial Tracker Gab site, the official Trial Tracker Gab site, where they give you all the up-to-date information, what's coming out on the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Finally, if you want to support freedom of speech and freedom of the press, consider becoming a paid member of the Free Press Report. I don't know anything about that. I'll check it out. If I like it, I'll probably go ahead and become a member, because I do want to support this kind of information. This is the kind of information that people need to see. This is the kind of information people have an appetite for. Truth is the new hate speech. And truth will always be treason in the empire of lies, and truth is the first casualty in any war. They got to take down the truth so they can inject their lies. When they inject their lies, then they can manipulate and exploit the people. And the people that they manipulate and exploit are their viewers. They don't want their viewers to have the truth. They want their viewers to be exploited and manipulated. That's what their actions show.
Hey guys, we know with the way things have been going, it can get really interesting really quick. So make sure you and your family have a long-term storable food supply. Support the channel and get $50 off with my link in the description while you still can.